Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we got another tier list video. You guys seem to love the tier list videos, so in today's tier list video, we are going to be looking at a ranking. We're going to be creating a ranking of the 2021 rookie quarterbacks, and we got it here Donruss style.
What's up? It's Alex. Yeah, and I'm excited to rank these 2021 quarterbacks. I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks that are getting playing time, so we have a list of six different quarterbacks that are all getting pretty consistent playing time. I'd say all of them are kind of near the bottom of the league as far as quarterbacks go for the most part as compared to some of the veteran quarterbacks, but doesn't mean they don't have room to improve. And yeah, excited.
If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and click the like button, click the subscribe button, follow us on Instagram. Let's start with Davis Mills. As far, I got prices here. Davis Mills, his Donruss card, it's like $3. It's just a couple bucks.
It's not so much that he's popping, it's just that he's actually getting playing time since the starting quarterback kind of sucks on that team, and then Deshaun Watson also is not playing. On the field, his QBR for the season so far is 31.9, has a 66.6 completion percentage on the passing, and has a total of 2,200 yards. And his team is 4-11, so the Texans have not been good. He hasn't been great, but he's been good enough to kind of win the starting role. He's, I think they said, 23 years old, graduate from Stanford. Still has some upside, but I wouldn't put him super high on this list. He's not, super athletic. He's not known to be, the best passer, but he's kind of a safe, conservative, ball control quarterback.
Now let me tell you. This is another thing we need to consider. Eye test.
So I'd say I've only watched him play a couple of times and nothing special. Below average.
That's
what I'm thinking. I don't know if he's done decently in his time. Otherwise, he would have lost the starting job. Yeah. So maybe still could be a quarterback. He doesn't need to find a new career, but
So you don't think he could be future Tom Brady?
I don't think so.
You don't think he's working his way up the charts?
No. I don't.
All right. Next up, we got Trey Lance, aka Trey Lance. If we look at his Donruss prices, about $7 around. Some obviously cheaper, some more, based on maybe centering or something like that when people are buying it. And his downtown PSA 10 goes for $2,075.
So I would say with Trey Lance, he hasn't gotten that much playing time, but he's gotten enough that we've kind of gotten a sense to what he looks like. He is one who I would say his current performance has not been good, but he still, I would argue, has a lot of potential, and really comes from his level of athleticism, right? He's kind of the closest thing to a Lamar Jackson for that class, but he also didn't play as much in college, is a little bit raw, hasn't really looked that good at passing so far. Definitely still athletic and still can run. So his QBR so far this year is 36.7, only a 52.1 completion percentage, which is pretty low relative to the other quarterbacks, and only 354 passing yards and 3 touchdowns so far. So you can see he just hasn't really played as much. Garoppolo, the starting quarterback on that team, is actually looking pretty good. What I've seen so far, eye test wise, I would put him in the good category.
So you think if he was in the same position as Davis Mills, he'd be doing better?
Yeah.
That's a controversial statement, I feel like.
I'm kind of in between because, so far, Davis Mills has just played more, but he hasn't necessarily looked better than Trey Lance. Trey Lance just has a better starting quarterback, so he's not, getting as much time. So, yeah, I put Trey Lance above Davis Mills.
Okay. Guys, he's saying if he's building this squad right now, he's taking Trey Lance over Davis Mills.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yes.
Justina Fields, a.k.a. Justin Fields. His Donruss also goes for about $7, give or take. And his downtown PSA 10 last sold for $1,270.
Okay, so he's a little bit below.
He's below. Trey Lance's was at $2,000 downtown PSA 10.
That's interesting. So Justin Fields also has gotten a good amount of playing time this year, so we've gotten to see, what he's got to offer. He's had a few, I think, pretty bad games. So I think as far as stats go, he's not looking very good as compared to some of the other quarterbacks. QBR is only 25.2, completion percentage at 58.9%, passing yards 1,870 for a total of 7 touchdowns. So it's gotten a little bit more playing time than, say, a Trey Lance has. Kind of similar stats, not the best QBR. You know, he doesn't have a lot of weapons on his team. Doesn't have very good like wide receivers and stuff that he's passing to. But he has a good combination of athleticism and speed, and also kind of a good passer and a good leader. Going into the season, I would have put him into the great category, but he's kind of underperformed what I expected, so I would also put him in the good category, but probably right above Trey Lance.
Okay, that's interesting. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're still watching. We got Trevor Lawrence, the first pick. His Donruss goes for about $9, and his downtown PSA 10 last sold for $1,600.
Trevor Lawrence, he's also gotten a ton of playing time. His team has been an absolute mess ever since the beginning. They had a new coach this year, and it went horribly wrong. Doesn't have many weapons to be passing to, so he's kind of had all the odds stacked against him. But he still, in my opinion, looked decent. As far as eye test goes, I'd say he's looked pretty good. I feel like if he had a better team around him, he could do pretty well. Has a QBR of 32.6 so far, completion percentage of 58.7, 3,225 passing yards, and only 9 touchdowns, which is not very good considering how many games he's played. But going into the draft, people would normally put him as like future Tom Brady or great. But I can't put him above good with the performance so far.
Good.
So I do good above Justin Fields and Trey Lance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I see a little trend with this list. A lot of goods.
Hey, we gotta be honest, right?
We gotta be honest.
We can't just fill the spots just to fill them. If they don't fit, if there's no future Tom Brady's in this class, then we won't put any. But we still have.
Thankfully, I don't see any find a new careers yet.
So far, no find a new careers. I think they're all gonna like at least get a few more opportunities
Which leads us into our next one, Zach Wilson. His Donruss goes for about $4. His downtown goes for about $1,100. I know starting the season he was kind of looking like the biggest disappointment. Is that crazy to say? But where are we putting him?
He's looked okay. I feel like with him, he has like a really good arm. Like when he throws it, like zips out of his hand. But I've also heard like the downside of that is like he doesn't have very much finesse. Zach Wilson has a QBR of only 28.3, completion percentage of 56.7, and passing yards of 2,013 with 7 touchdowns. He's gotten a good amount of playing time, had a little bit of injury time. Like you said, started off the year pretty bad. Still hasn't really impressed me. I don't know if he's, a future like big-time quarterback. Definitely not a future Tom Brady. Definitely not great so far in his career. As compared to some of the other quarterbacks in the good category, I think I would put him below all 3 of those guys. So I'm going to put him below average. He's going to be above Davis Mills in my mind just because he's got more potential, got the arm strength. But can't put him in the good category from what I've seen so far. Sorry.
Next up, we've got Donald Jones, aka Mac Jones. His Donruss goes for $25, and his downtown PSA 10 goes for almost 4,000 rackies.
So he's definitely the highest as far as card value goes right now. Yeah. And I feel like part of that is definitely his performance. He's played a lot. He got the starting role from the beginning. He beat out Cam Newton to win the starting role, and since then has looked pretty good. But also part of that is just the New England hype, I would say, too. They have a lot of fans. They're doing well this year for the first time in a couple of years, so all the fans are starting to like jump back on the bandwagon. The bandwagon is filling up for New England, so if you're trying to get on it, you better get on soon. Stats go.
Look at those numbers.
As far as stats go, his QBR is by far the highest at 51.7, completion percentage of 67.2, 3,313 passing yards, and 18 touchdowns. So the best stats so far of all the quarterbacks. Also, part of it is just landed in the best situation. Has one of the best coaches in the league with Belichick. On a winning team, they're 9-6 this year. And he's not really asked to do, too much. Like, not really asked to go outside of his comfort zone. So he's just been able to kind of be comfortable from day one. Eye test looks pretty good. He looks confident out there. And then Also, from what I've heard from news articles and things like that, his teammates also really like him and respect him as a leader. So, you know, I think that a lot of New England fans would want to put him as a future Tom Brady. I'm not there. I feel like right now is way too early to tell. And
what if they win the Super Bowl this year?
Even if they win the Super Bowl, like he'd really have to really kill it for multiple years to start being compared to somebody like Tom Brady. So I'm gonna put him at the top of all the quarterbacks of this year so far, and I'll let him get into that great category there. So that's where we're at. I could be wrong. You know, things definitely change over the years, but this is kind of what I've seen so far, a combination of, you know, performance this year and potential for the future.
I think the biggest takeaway from this is Davis Mills is the worst of all the rookie QBs. Even though he has the starting job.
He was drafted in the 3rd round. I mean, all of these other quarterbacks are 1st-round draft picks. And this guy's a 3rd-round draft pick.
You heard it here
Clearly,
first.
you know, somebody didn't think he had as much potential. He is starting for one of the worst teams in the league. He's better than I think people expected, but that doesn't necessarily put him above any of the other, you know, highly touted QBs.
Okay. Make sure to subscribe if you made it this far in this video. Happy New Year's.